Good morning, chickadoes and chickadees. Today is Thursday, December 3rd, and this is your lesson video. So we are working on our rhetorical analysis essay, which again, the basis of this essay is to talk about what our writer is doing in their text. And the texts that we primarily focus on are argumentative or persuasive text. They are trying to achieve something. That writer, that speaker is trying to convince us to do something, believe something, say something, act on something, or even on the counterpart, to not do that, to not buy that, to not believe that, to not act on it. But either the way, they're trying to get us to do something. And that's what the essay does, is has that conversation, that awareness, that breaking apart, analyzing what they're doing and picking on the choices they've made. Kind of like a sports commentator when they're picking apart the play that just happened, or the call the coach just made, or the audible that the player made on the field or on the court. They're just kind of breaking it apart. Like, why would they do that? Why was that a good call? Was it effective? You're being the commentator here. That's what the analysis is. So we worked on the précis, which again, I love this fill in the blank structure, those 4-sentence summary sentences, because it allows us to pick and choose and use them for our entire essay. If you have a solid précis, you have your essay. Then on Tuesday, we worked on our introduction and utilizing sentence 1 as our thesis and building up that background information to lead up to that thesis statement, which is essentially sentence number 1 of our précis. Then for the body paragraphs, which was yesterday, where you had to at least focus on one paragraph in a T-structured format, topics and evidence analysis, you were given the opportunity to talk about one of those rhetorical choices the writer made in their text that you pointed out in sentence 2. So you're like, first the writer did this to support their thesis, and then they used this to support their thesis. Then they made this reference, and they brought this up, and they talked about this, just like you did with the Haley Hardcastle, the Ingrid Nielsen pieces. Like, we were talking about what that writer, that speaker did in the article that you chose from the Friday selection before Thanksgiving break, right? So whatever article you chose, you said, this is what they did, and that's sentence 2. Using sentence 2, each and every idea is a topic sentence for a body paragraph. So yesterday you said, okay, first they did this, gave the evidence, and explained. So that was yesterday's piece. Today, after you build your body paragraphs, we're done. We got to create that closure. Hence comes our conclusion. Previously, the way we've all been taught is that our conclusion is a restatement of our thesis, highlighting 2 or more of our reasons or ideas in our body paragraphs, and maybe a sentence or 2 to finish it off. That's how we started. We are evolved. We are better than that. Because the downfall of that particular style, like I've said before, is that you are spark noting your own essay. You are summarizing your entire piece. So why do I have any initiative to read it if you've done all the hard work for me? So we're moving past that. And that's why last time when we talked about intros, bodies, and conclusions, and I said conclusions are like your Jerry Springer moment. This is your coming to Jesus, having that heart-to-heart talk with your friend. You switch your attention to your audience. These are the people you've been speaking to the entirety of the essay, your intro, your body paragraphs. Now talk to them, appeal to them. Make this matter to us. This is where we start using the collective pronouns of us, we, they, them. We talk about how it impacts our life, why it matters to us, how we need to do this in order to be a better society, that we need to put mental illness on the forefront of all of our agendas so that we can look after not only the generation today, not of the generation yesterday, but also the generation of tomorrow. That we as a society have a due diligence to take care of others, that while we're driving down the road, we should not be self-isolated in our own little bubble, but always be aware of our surroundings. That if we want a better society, we want a better country, a better government, a better anything and everything, we need to do this. It is our responsibility. It is their duty. Again, we're using those collective pronouns: our, they, them, us, we. So when you do your thesis, or sorry, your conclusion, we're still using our phrases to get us started. We're going to use sentence number 3. So when you click on today's assignment, the Ray conclusion rhetorical analysis essay, you're going to get this page. So I'm telling you to copy and paste your sentence 3 from your précis. This is where you identify what the purpose was again, and then what's going to happen after it, like in order to, so that they can. Okay. So we're going to use it, recycle it, and put it here to help us launch in to our conversation, to our appeal to our audience. Think of it as having a heart to heart with a family member or friend. You know, you're being that preacher, you're being that philosopher, you're being that psychiatrist, you're being that person on a soapbox proclaiming to everybody else, this is what we need to do. This is, in a sense, your mic drop moment. So we'll use sentence 3 as our stepping stone, as our launch pad, so to speak, to get us to our conversation. So we finish up our essay, and then we switch our attention to our audience. And you'll switch that attention here when you start appealing to your audience. Okay, so I would expect at least 3 or more sentences of that finishing conversation, that resounding idea that you are going to mic drop from and say, bam, it's done. We need a sense of closure. So since you're pulling from your précis, most of y'all have already done the précis assignment. I've graded them. You should be able to go back. In Schoology, it says in order to not send back, not resubmit, but kind of like in order to send back the assignment back to you, like it's back in your possession, I just need to put comments, which I did. If you can't access your précis, jump on Zoom and let me know so I can figure out what I need to do on my end. Because it says as long as I put a comment or if I grade it, it gives it back to you. There's nothing I need to do on my end. But from what I've known, Schoology's a liar. So today's your conclusion. Use sentence 3 from your précis, and then have that closure with your audience. Talk to them, speak with them, address them, appeal to them. Talk to us about how this matters to us. Use those collective pronouns of us, we, them, our. Okay, talk to me. If you have any questions, want me to see what you got before you submit, jump on Zoom. All right, I love you. Have a good day. Make good choices.